A Light Within Darkness Chapter 96, Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Isha had at this point accumulated a decent bit of power, due to the rise of worship of herself by her remaining Eldar of decent stock. And of course, just the passive bits of power I would inevitably inject into her after seeding her for the umpteenth time each day. So with that power, Isha, in an act akin to lighting up the very Astronomican, became a beacon of light, of motherly love and affection within the dark and turbulent sea of souls. Her boundless love filled all who stared into the sea of souls with warmth and relief for those of kind hearts. And the deepest pain and shame for those that walked a dark path with her disapproval burning at their eyes and souls like a caustic brand that blinded many a pisker and astropath. And then, like good old Gazgul Thraka before, she expended even more power to convey a message into the warp for those who dared to listen. DUGHTROFDATH TRIPRTOLFE TRIPRTOTMOTHRHOD ISTRIPYOUOFYURNMEANDBLOOD. Isha went nuclear and did something she had never ever did before in all of Eldari history. She took Ivrain's name from her very soul, sundered her bloodline, changing her very form as she lost the right to be called an Eldar, and finally broadcasted the names Wretch and her cabal was no longer considered a part of Eldar society at all. And as the whales of souls unmaking themselves, as many of the Inari cultists above our sect and their ships ended their own lives at being literally disowned by their race's goddess birth mother rang out with ships exploding as Slaneshi demons screamed with ecstatic joy at them crushing their soul stones to truly kill themselves with their flooding emotions. We made our escape. A literal warp storm was being created as the now deranged Inari cultists attacked Gilliman's own fleet of ships, which instantly fired back in response, while the sect far below the flying ships that were now at battle actually dimmed in presence as the large miniature sun that hung over the sect dimmed and died. Countless demons flooded into real space with the outcry of spiritual energy as so many Eldar piskers killed themselves with unimaginable grief that for a long minute no one even noticed as the sect below was flooded with demons, and then as the battle raged on, the sect just seemed to disappear with the violent warp storm that surged around the planet. The warp storm that was even now being pushed back down into the Sea of Souls, as a set of burning golden eyes in the far distance of the Empyrean glared at the surging waves, and under the powerful will, the waves of demons stilled and evaporated in nothingness. But at that point, nothing could be done. The sect had disappeared, and Ivrain, having recollected herself, took her surviving but very twisted Inari cultists into the warp to escape Gilliaman's wrathful retribution for the sons lost by her people's lapse of sanity at being physically and spiritually disowned of their very own race's birth mother. I awoke from my brief coma by the sounds of Ellesmere's humming, and then I became aware of her soft hands threading through my hair as she softly spoke while realizing I had become awake. The sect, and its surrounding mountain, made it. We slammed home into a hostile, death world due to it being a world that had been previously invaded by the Tyranids, but their connection with the Hive world was destroyed, meaning all the Tyranids that landed on the world reverted to their natural instincts. I groaned and made to sit up, but even as the soft hand of Isha, who was apparently sitting beside me, pushed me back down into Ellesmere's lap. That very same motherly goddess spoke gently. "No, Jake. Your soul is a worn-down thing. You need to rest and not even consider doing any of your cultivating or even meditating. You need simple rest and to allow your soul to heal in the silence of inactivity." I flexed my hands and arms to check I didn't face any physical damage like burnt-out veins and other things, and as I did so, I realized I was naked under the blanket, making me look up at the large covered breasts above me as I dryly said to Ellesmere, "I get that I need to rest, but why am I naked, my dear?" And without any shame, Ellesmere answered primly, "Oh, I had no part in that. Lady Isha just hates sleeping, besides with clothes apparently." My lips twitched at that nonsense, so I looked over at Isha, who gave me a gentle smile as she said evenly, "Is my hero husband unhappy at his loving wife who fed him the milk of her soul and bosom to help heal his soul, while bravely embracing him through the cold night of this dark, unexplored world? Wow. Make it all about yourself, huh?" I thought dryly before chuckling as honestly, besides my soul feeling Slanish decided to chew on me like some Laffy Taffy, and the sect sun burning up all its fuel and energy to teleport us across a good way across the galaxy. We had gotten away from the situation in a remarkably stable state. But as I took some deep breaths to relax as I enjoyed Ellesmere's unceasing scalp massage, Isha had to be the bearer of bad news as she spoke. "Now, my love, I do have some important news." I lazily opened an eye to look at the beautiful blonde hentai space elf who shifted in her exposing dress before she spoke softly. "This world seems to be a Tau world in the midst of colony building. We are unaware of the forces upon the planet, but I can sense their weak souls, and Ellesmere already confirmed their presence. I hope I landed in the Farside enclaves. But at this point, I will happily accept a big titty Tau waifu to tell me there is no need to fight. I just want some damn peace for a while, damn it." I thought, taking a breath and nodding in understanding as I said evenly, "All right. We will try to make contact after I heal."